Cancer, something is shifting in the way people see you. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. But if you have been paying attention, you have already noticed it in small moments. In the way someone paused before responding to you, in the way a conversation took a turn you did not expect, in the way certain people have started treating you with a level of respect or curiosity that was not there before. And what you are sensing is real. For most of your life, you have been one of the most misunderstood signs in the zodiac. People saw your sensitivity and mistook it for fragility. They saw your need for security and mistook it for dependency. They saw your emotional depth and assumed it meant you were always on the edge of falling apart. But the truth is that none of those assumptions were ever accurate. And now, finally, the world around you is beginning to catch up to who you actually are. This message is going to walk you through 8 specific situations where this new understanding is showing up. 8 moments where the people in your life and even strangers are starting to see you in a completely different light. Situation 1. The first situation where Cancer is being understood in a new way is in the area of leadership. For years, you were overlooked for positions of influence because your style of leading did not match what the world expected. You lead quietly. You lead through empathy, through emotional intelligence, through the ability to sense what a group needs before anyone has to say it out loud. And in a world that has traditionally celebrated loud, aggressive, top-down leadership, your approach was dismissed as too soft, too passive, too emotional. But something is changing. People are beginning to realize that the most effective leaders are not the ones who command obedience through force. They are the ones who inspire loyalty through genuine care. In Cancer, that has always been your gift. You do not lead by pushing people. You lead by making them feel seen, valued, and safe enough to do their best work. And the people around you are starting to notice this. They are starting to recognize that the steadiness you bring to chaotic situations is not passivity. It is mastery. That the calm you maintain when everyone else is spiraling is not indifference. It is strength. And that your ability to hold space for other people's emotions without becoming destabilized yourself is one of the rarest and most valuable forms of leadership that exists. This shift in perception may not have arrived with a promotion or an official title, but it is real. The way people look at you in group settings is changing. The way they turn to you during difficult moments is changing. The way they listen when you speak is changing. In Cancer, this is only the beginning. Because once people begin to see you clearly, they cannot unsee it. And the recognition that is building right now is going to open doors that your old reputation could never have opened. Situation 2. The second situation where you are being understood differently is in your closest relationships. Cancer, the people who love you have not always known how to love you back. Your emotional needs are complex, layered, and sometimes contradictory. You need closeness but also space. You need reassurance but resent having to ask for it. You need loyalty but you test it constantly, sometimes without even realizing you are doing it. And for years, the people closest to you struggled to navigate those needs. Not because they did not care, but because they did not understand. They saw your need for reassurance as insecurity. They interpreted your desire for closeness as clinginess. They mistook your emotional intensity for drama. But something has changed. The people who matter most to you are beginning to understand that your needs are not burdens. They are invitations. Invitations to a deeper, more meaningful kind of connection than most people ever experience. They are starting to see that when you ask for reassurance, you are not being needy. You are offering them the chance to be someone who matters deeply in another person's life. When you seek closeness, you are not suffocating them. You are giving them access to a level of emotional intimacy that is rare and precious. This new understanding is changing the texture of your relationships. Conversations are going deeper. Misunderstandings are resolving faster. And the people who used to pull away from your intensity are beginning to lean into it, recognizing that what they once saw as too much is actually exactly the kind of depth they have been missing in their own lives. Situation 3. The third situation involves the way acquaintances and people on the periphery of your life are starting to view your quietness. Cancer, you are not always the loudest person in the room. In many social settings, you observe more than you speak. You listen more than you share. You absorb the energy of the space before deciding how much of yourself to offer. And for most of your life, this quietness has been misread. People assumed you were shy or disinterested, or that you had nothing to contribute. But now, people are beginning to see your silence for what it truly is: wisdom in waiting. They are starting to notice that when you do speak, your words carry weight. That your observations are often more insightful than the contributions of people who never stop talking. That your quietness is not an absence of thought, but an abundance of it. This shift is subtle but powerful. You may notice that people are starting to seek your opinion more actively. That they pause the conversation to hear what you think. That they value your input not despite your quietness, but because of it. Cancer, in a world that is oversaturated with noise, your ability to listen deeply and speak intentionally is becoming one of the most valued qualities a person can possess. And the people around you are finally beginning to understand that. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Situation 4. The fourth situation is about the way your emotional boundaries are now being respected rather than resented. Cancer, there was a time when setting a boundary felt like starting a war. When you said no to something, people reacted with surprise, offense, or guilt trips designed to pull you back into compliance. They were so accustomed to your endless giving that any limit felt like a personal rejection. And because you felt that reaction so deeply, you often backed down. You retracted the boundary. You apologized for having needs. You went back to giving more than you had because the discomfort of someone else's disappointment was worse than the depletion of your own reserves. But something has shifted, and not just in you but in the people around you. They are beginning to accept your boundaries without the drama that once accompanied them. When you say you need space, they give it without making you feel guilty. When you decline an invitation, they respect it without questioning your commitment to the relationship. When you express a limit, they acknowledge it as reasonable rather than treating it as a personal attack. This change did not happen because you became more forceful in your delivery. It happened because the consistency of your boundary setting has gradually retrained the people around you to expect and respect your limits. In Cancer, that is an extraordinary achievement, because it means you have fundamentally changed the dynamic of your relationships without destroying them. You have taught the people you love how to love you back. And that is one of the most powerful things a person can do. Situation 5. The fifth situation where Cancer is being seen differently is in the way your resilience is finally being acknowledged. For years you endured things in silence. You went through financial hardship, emotional devastation, health challenges, and the kind of quiet, grinding daily stress that slowly erodes a person's spirit. And you did it all without crumbling. You kept functioning. You kept showing up. You kept caring for the people who depended on you even when you could barely care for yourself. And nobody noticed. Or if they noticed, they did not say anything because from the outside you made it look manageable. You did not dramatize your struggles. You did not broadcast your pain. You simply endured. And the world mistook that endurance for ease. But now, people are starting to see the truth. Maybe it is because you have finally allowed yourself to be more honest about what you have been through. Maybe it is because the people around you have matured enough to recognize strength that does not announce itself. Or maybe it is simply because the universe has decided it is time for you to be seen clearly. Whatever the reason, the result is the same. People are beginning to acknowledge what you survived. They are starting to express admiration, sometimes in words and sometimes simply in the way they treat you, for the strength you displayed during seasons that would have broken most people. In Cancer, this acknowledgement matters. Not because you need external validation to know your own worth, but because being seen for who you truly are, after years of being misunderstood, is one of the most healing experiences a person can have. Situation 6. The sixth situation is about the way people are beginning to seek your counsel in moments of real difficulty. Cancer, you have always been the person people come to when they are struggling. But in the past, the advice they sought was often superficial. They wanted you to comfort them, to listen, to make them feel better. But they did not always take your insights seriously. They would nod, feel soothed by your warmth, and then go do exactly what they were going to do anyway. But that is changing. People are starting to genuinely listen to what you have to say. They are beginning to follow your advice. They are realizing that the emotional intelligence you bring to a problem is not just about making them feel better. It is about seeing the situation with a clarity that logic alone cannot provide. You read people. You sense dynamics. You understand the emotional undercurrents that drive behavior in ways that most people cannot articulate. let alone perceive. And now, the people around you are starting to trust that perception. They are bringing you into conversations earlier. They are asking for your input before making major decisions rather than after the damage is done. They are treating your emotional wisdom as the strategic advantage it has always been. Cancer, this is a significant shift. Because for years you have had the answers but no one was asking the right questions. Now they are. And the impact you are going to have on the people around you, simply by being consulted and heard, is going to be one of the most rewarding experiences of this entire season. Some people watch. Others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting. It's about moving. Situation 7. The seventh situation where Cancer is being understood in a new way has to do with your need for home and stability no longer being seen as a limitation. For a long time, the world treated your desire for domestic peace as something quaint, as a sign that you lacked ambition, or that your world was too small. People who valued adventure, risk, and constant forward motion looked at your need for a stable home base and saw someone who was afraid to live fully. But that perception is crumbling. People are beginning to understand that your need for home is not about fear. It is about wisdom. You have always known instinctively that without a solid foundation, nothing sustainable can be built. That the people who run fastest without a place to return to often end up running in circles. That the greatest achievements in life are not born from chaos but from the kind of deep, rooted stability that allows a person to think clearly, love fully, and create with intention. The world is finally catching up to what you have always known. And the people around you are starting to see your home-centered values not as a weakness but as a source of profound strength. They are beginning to envy the peace you have cultivated. They are starting to realize that the stability you built while they were chasing the next thrill is the very thing they now find themselves desperately searching for. Cancer, you were never behind. You were ahead. And the world is only now beginning to understand that. Situation 8. The eighth and final situation is perhaps the most powerful of all, and it is this. You are beginning to understand yourself in a new way, and that self-understanding is radiating outward and changing how everyone around you perceives you. Cancer, for most of your life, your self-image was shaped by other people's projections. You saw yourself through their eyes. When they called you too sensitive, you believed it. When they said you were too emotional, you internalized it. When they treated you as though your needs were excessive, you accepted that as truth. And that borrowed self-image became the lens through which you lived your entire life. But something profound has changed. You are beginning to see yourself through your own eyes. And what you see is not what they told you. You see strength where they saw softness. You see depth where they saw drama. You see a capacity for love so vast and so unconditional that it should be celebrated, not managed. You see a person who has been through more than most people could handle, and who still shows up every single day with an open heart and a willingness to believe in the goodness of others. This new self-perception is not arrogant. It is not inflated. It is simply accurate. And because it is accurate, it carries a frequency that the people around you can feel. They may not be able to name it, but they sense that something about you has changed. That you are standing taller. That your eyes are clearer. That your presence carries a weight and a warmth that was always there, but is now more visible, more undeniable, more magnetic. Cancer, the world is not just beginning to understand you. It is beginning to recognize something it should have seen all along. That you are one of the most powerful, most resilient, and most genuinely loving forces in any room you enter. And now that you are starting to believe that about yourself, there is nothing that can hold you back. The new way you are being seen is not separate from the new way you are seeing yourself. They are the same movement. And together, they are creating a version of your life that is more honest, more aligned, and more beautiful than anything you have experienced before. Welcome to it. You have earned every moment of it. You have two options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.